David Benavidez knocks out Demetrius Boo Boo Andrade, and he does it sensationally in 6 rounds. Andrade is forced to retire on the stool. This is the realest breakdown on YouTube. Let's talk about it. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Listen, I gotta first start off by congratulating Showtime Boxing. It's been a hell of a run. Showtime Boxing has been in the game for like 40 years. That was their very last pay-per-view, and I was thoroughly entertained the whole card. So if they had to go out, they went out with a bang because that was a great card. I really enjoyed David Benavidez, Andrade. Both guys put up a great showing. Obviously, Benavidez won, which we'll get to in this video. You also had Subriel Matias, straight up monster, the first 2 rounds. You know, actually, that fight with Subriel Matias and David Benavidez's fight, they both are straight killers, and they perform almost in the same way. There was some heat in the first 2 rounds, first 3 rounds or so from the opponent, some resistance, but then they have the willingness and the come forward style and the pressure, and they systematically broke their man down. For Matias, he broke down Ergashev, who was undefeated, and then for David Benavidez, he broke down undefeated Demetrius Andrade. So if you look, you know, and if someone else steals this talking point, you know where you heard it first. There are a lot of parallels between the Subriel Matias style and how he fought and made his guy retire on the stool and the David Benavidez fight. Both guys took on tough, on paper, undefeated challengers, and both guys came out blazing opponent-wise, Andrade and Ergashev, in the first 2-3 rounds, and then they started to wilt as soon as they started. The opponent, Matias and Benavidez, started to land their power shots and not give them any room to breathe. And realistically, that's how you fight a boxer. If there's a pure boxer, you make them uncomfortable, or a boxer puncher, you make them uncomfortable. You don't give them too much area to work and time to think and stuff like that. Pressure, 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 but it has to be intelligent pressure. If you come forward like a maniac, then we've seen boxers pick that style apart. So it's definitely a sweet science behind a systematic pressure fighter like Subriel Matias and David Benavidez. So all in all, much better final Showtime card than the HBO card, if I'm being honest. HBO's last card was like mid at best, but this was great. David Benavidez versus Boo Boo Andrade. Now, I'm going to start off with this, and I'm going to give my fair breakdown and objective thoughts like I always do. Subscribe to the channel. It's free. Demetrius Andrade, he showed a lot of valor, a lot of honor, and a lot of heart throughout the whole fight. There's a lot of Demetrius Andrade, like he's just being slighted. A lot of people roasting him, but it was a hell of an effort, to be honest. And he did some things with Benavidez that we're not used to seeing. What I did like from Andrade was that Andrade, he attempted to fight super awkward, aggressive. He got really low, and Benavidez has like an upright style where Benavidez was having to punch, and Demetrius Andrade had this low, almost like capoeira, like Eddie Gordo from Tekken, you know, just real low angles, and he was trying to turn him and spin him and catch Benavidez slipping and then hit him with a shot once he spun him. He was doing some crafty things. There was even some moments where he tried to bully Benavidez and push his back to the ropes and then land overhands and stuff like that. Made for a very good fight. Now, for the bad and the ugly for Andrade, is the bad is Andrade and Benavidez have both been considered boogeymen in boxing. Andrade has been a boogeyman probably longer because we've known about him since the HBO days, 54, 60, 68. And his career, through various reasons, some of it his fault and some of it people avoiding him, but a culmination of these things gave Andrade a lackluster resume. And it really didn't prepare him for a fight like Benavidez. Like Lucas Keeler can't prepare you. You know, Artur Akov can't prepare you for a guy like Benavidez. So Benavidez has taken some tough fights like Anthony Durrell and Caleb Plant. And I always tell you, experience matters. When you're in the pros and you're fighting high level, that's gonna, especially if you win, because I'd rather capture the W and win and then go back and look at tape and see what I could have improved on than to lose and then have my confidence crushed. So Benavidez kept winning. And even though there was some resistance in the Plant fights, the Durrell fights, even Kyrone Davis, he was pretty tough. Like, he wasn't just going away. Or that Angulo dude, I don't think had ever been stopped before. So Benavidez had a great developmental plan with him and his team to prepare him for these big moments to shine with the bigger names, because basically he's had tough fights. I mean, even the fight with Ron Gavriel, he got dropped in that fight. People were clowning him. People said he was suspect. And then he came back super correct and stopped Ron Gavriel. And I think he even broke his nose or jaw or something like that in the fight. And it was completely different than the first fight. He didn't get dropped and he didn't really lose rounds and stuff like that, whereas the first fight was tough. And I think some fighters need that. A lot of fighters need that, where if you just blowing out people, it's cool, but that doesn't really test you. Iron sharpens iron. So when you're fighting and you have to match wits with somebody who's as talented as you or talented in a different department, I think that's where you grow. And I think that was a big separator here for Demetrius Andrade. Yes, he's an Olympian, but what year was those Olympics that he went to? You know what I mean? Versus, as I mentioned, for Benavidez, it's been a steady progress and a growth process as he's tried to hunt down the bigger names. Finally got a bigger name, and he prevailed as the boogeyman, you know? So that's the bad for Andrade. He waited. You got to feel bad for him almost, because he waited, couldn't get the right opportunities, finally gets a big name, and then he gets crushed in 6 rounds, right? Now, the ugly for Andrade is this. You guys got to pay attention. The ugly for Andrade is there's a lot of people saying that he quit. Now, I don't like to put the quit jacket on people, because I even said in the card that Ergashev quit when Subriel Matias started to kick up his offense and was cornering him and hurting him and landing combinations. But it did look like Demetrius Andrade quit. I am a fair critic on my channel, and the reason I say that, some people are like, oh, he didn't quit. He put up a hell of a fight, and this is why I'm saying this is the ugly. He put up a hell of a fight. He showed heart throughout the fight. Every time, every second he was in the ring, because he was in bad shape from the 4th round, from the first knockdown. He never really recovered. So everything else was pure instinct, pure heart. But the reason why, and this is what fighters, they really got to talk to their team and be on the same accord. I really wish that fighters would get with their team and have a scenario or some kind of chat about what happens in these situations where the fighter is absolutely losing and absolutely getting pummeled, which was the case for Andrade in them later rounds. The reason being, me personally, ego, I like it a lot better when the corner stops the fight as opposed to when it comes from the fighter. Because when it comes from the fighter, people are going to say you quit, because the fighter is the one that is waving the white flag, basically. So if your corner is watching and they see what they see and you're getting beat up and they say, hey, ref, that's enough. Hey, doctor, that's enough. Then it falls on the corner and it preserves the fighter's integrity because the corner made the decision to stop it. Or if the corner, like let's say Kell Brook versus Triple G. So basically, realistically, I'm in chocolate right hand brownie. Hell no, guys, hey, Max. Right? You look at that fight. Nobody said that Kell Brook quit because Kell Brook was swinging and fighting to the end with a broken orbital, and his team seen what they didn't like, so they decided to throw in the white towel. And for me, as a pure boxing head, I really prefer it that way. I prefer it where it falls on the corner. because if it falls on the corner, then you don't have this stuff coming back to you. Unfortunately, from what I seen, Andrade was the one when their doctors and refs were crowded around his corner in between rounds and deciding if he should come out or not. He looked to his father and said, "Stop it." So he kind of did quit, if we're being real. So that's the ugly for Demetrius Andrade, right? I think he showed maximum amount of heart, but that all kind of went away when you uttered those words, because he said, "Stop it." And then his corner man or his chief second or whoever was like, all right, that's enough, stop it. But I really had wished that the corner did it so it didn't fall on Andrade. But it played out how it played out, and I give you guys my honest thoughts. So I understand why people are saying that he quit in that given moment. I told you, this is the realest breakdown on YouTube. And I know a lot of people have a hard time comprehending what I'm saying. Like, oh, how are you going to say he quit and all that? Bro, a quit is a quit. If you forfeit, if you wave the white flag, you wave the white flag. Gabe Rosado has been in many fights where the going got tough and he never really folded. Like, look at his fight with Triple G. His face was a bloody mess, massacred. Triple G got crazy power. Gabe Rosado got heart. So he's gonna be fighting till until somebody stop it. And again, I'm not saying that Andrade wasn't taking punishment, because absolutely for 3 rounds or 2 rounds or whatever, he was taking punishment. So I'm not complaining about the actual stoppage, because you could have really made the argument that it could have been stopped in round 5 right after the knockdown, because the knockdown happened at the end of the round 4. So it wasn't enough time for Benavidez to really put the hurting. But round 5, he hadn't recovered and he started getting pummeled. You could have stopped it in round 5. So make sure we're loud and clear. I am very eloquent when I do these videos and the realest breakdowns, which makes me the greatest to ever do this in the digital age. I'm the best in the business, and it's not even close. So mark my words. If you're going to quote me, no beef with that. But don't take what I say and make your own context to it. I'm not saying the fight shouldn't have been stopped. But for me, ego, I prefer it when it's out of the fighter's hands so it doesn't fall on the fighter. So that's why your team, they got to just see it and be like, nah, bro, live to fight another day, and then no one will call you a quitter. But now, unfortunately for Andrade, people are saying he quit after a hell of a performance. And I don't really like that for him, but he is the one that uttered those words, like end it or stop it was the actual words that he chose to say. As far as David Benavidez, A Star Is Born, I've been telling you about Benavidez. Puts a lot of pressure on his opponents, and now his performance put a lot of pressure on you want Canelo Alvarez. So you guys, if you watch my channel, you know I've been big on Benavidez, and he's doing little subtle things in there, just breaking people down. I think his experience as a teen really, really is paramount. A lot of people aren't going to break it down just like me. That's why I'm needed in this game. I can't leave boxing alone. The game need me. So him sparring with Triple G, him sparring with guys like Kelly Pavlik. Kelly Pavlik was running people out the gyms. Kelly Pavlik got real deal, legit power, that Youngstown power, right? And I believe Sergio Martinez said the hardest he's ever been hit was by Kelly Pavlik, right? So if you're sparring him as a team, you got to be pretty durable, and they got to have some real faith in you, because you're sparring a prime Kelly Pavlik and you're not in your prime because you're a teenager. You may not even have all your man strength. So the fact that Jose Benavidez, the dad, was comfortable putting his son in there with Kelly Pavlik, who was far more seasoned, that shows me that Benavidez is pretty tough and nice. And I knew all these things. He sparred with Bivol. Bivol also told you that Benavidez could beat Canelo, and then he later, after that interview, beat Canelo himself. So all in all, Benavidez, I've been telling you about it. Now, hopefully you guys believe me. I don't steer you guys wrong. I tell you who to watch for. I actually, one of the earlier performances from Benavidez that I was live for, and I'm like, yeah, okay. it was Benavidez. He fought on the Andre Berto, Victor Ortiz 2 card in SoCal. And I went down to SoCal and he beat this black dude who was undefeated, if I'm not mistaken. And, you know, I really paid attention to Benavidez before that. But after that performance, I'm like, oh, okay, because the dude, I don't even know if he ever came back to fight, to be honest, after the Benavidez fight. But truth be told, that dude had, you know, a decent name in boxing circuits and boxing circles until that Benavidez fight. So, you know, Benavidez has been nasty. He been on point. And another thing I like, I could go on all in all because I got a lot to say, but you guys got to subscribe. I'll close with this. The David Benavidez, another thing I really like. And once again, I'm giving you uncut gems. It's not a bunch of filler. It's not a bunch of yelling and like fake theatrics in my videos. I'm giving you real boxing dialogue. So take this uncut gem, and if you hear it recycled throughout YouTube, because people always, they don't want to give credit, but they take my style, my image, my swag, the talking points I use, and then they run with it and act like they created it. So if you hear this, just know where you got it from. I'm the pioneer of this. David Benavidez, what I really like is he's fighting complex styles for his style, such as Anthony Durrell, Caleb Plant, and Demetrius Andrade, and he's beating them all by stoppage, except for Caleb Plant, and he almost stopped him. But at the end of the day, he's not complaining. Notice other guys who are deemed power punchers and brawlers, when they look horrible, they complain and say, oh, that guy ran. They look bad and say, oh, he ran, he's a runner, he's a track star, right? David Benavidez is like, okay, you want to run, you want to try to get away from the smoke, no problem. And he'll hunt you down and cut off the ring. That's a true fighter, because you're so comfortable in your style, it don't matter what the other person is doing. You're going to inflict the punishment and impose your will and impose your style on the opponent. I really seldomly hear David Benavidez talk about the other person's style in a negative way. Like, he might say, oh, the guy might try to run when he starts feeling the power, but he just accepts what it is. If I'm in there with a David Lemieux who's going to stand there and trade, he'd be like, good luck. If I'm in there with a guy who's going to quote unquote run, then, oh, well, I'm going to hunt you down and I'm going to break you down and I'm going to get to you. You can't run. You in a square circle. There's no way, unless you get out the ring, there's no escape. Versus, like, you look at Canelo, when he fights at Edeslandi Lara, him and his fans keep talking about, oh, Lara ran. But Benavidez isn't worried about your style. He's worried about imposing his style on you. Respect. Great fight, great night. That's the realest breakdown that you will find. It's detailed on this YouTube platform. Subscribe to my channel for more like this and future fights. And I'm out. Introducing Super Thanks. Right here on the official Boxingego YouTube. Super Thanks allows you, the viewers, to show a little bit of extra gratitude, which enables me as a full-time content creator to push out the content you need in the world of boxing. Underneath all the videos, you will see a heart with the $sign in it. You can enter any amount that you find suitable as a super thanks. A brand new, interactive, and colorful way to get your comments highlighted and noticed by not only myself, but other people on the YouTube platform. Super thanks, a unique and cool way to show and applaud us full-time content creators. Hopefully you guys enjoy the content. Super thanks. The future is now. The Hibernation 5s by Kenichi Bear. Hybrid gaming and lifestyle headphones. Out of the box, you can connect to any console or PC. Bluetooth ready with a low latency USB adapter, color RGB, and extreme bass mode. The Hibernation 5s adjust to you. Whether you need a gaming, travel, gym, or lifestyle headphones, the Hibernations got you covered. The new Hibernation 5s, link in the description. Customize the way you hear the world. Welcome to the nation. Are you tired of your YouTube videos not getting any views? Well, consider TubeBuddy. I've used TubeBuddy for years to scale up my YouTube channel. Now we're sitting over 200,000 subscribers. TubeBuddy is a browser extension that offers a ton of built-in productivity and time-saving services to take your channel to the next level. Use my link in the description to get started with TubeBuddy and level up your channel faster. We working.